Steering is an important part of Spyro. A lot of people think the most important thing is gliding or something like that, but no, it's actually steering. Don't believe me? Wah! Infinite possibilities. But what if the possibilities were limited? First, we'll eliminate the obvious ways of turning yourself. Using left and right is forbidden. Backwards is also banned because it doesn't actually make you walk backwards, it just turns you around. We also need to ban anything related to camera movement. When you press forward, Spyro moves in the same direction as the camera, so allowing free camera movement basically just means that you've made a replacement for steering. So we must also ban the mouse, free look, and the dedicated controls for turning the camera. What we're now left with is forward, charging, jumping, and rolling. Rolling will be doing a lot of work for us. At the moment, this might not look like a very feasible run, but there's one more crucial detail. Walls. When you charge or glide into a wall, you'll slowly be forced to turn parallel to that wall. This might still sound like an impossible challenge, but you'll see just how big of a deal this is as we start the run. First, we'll walk forward in free Nestor. And then we'll roll over to Stone Hill. I won't actually go through Stone Hill right now, but going through the portal means that I can access it from the guidebook later. You can also go back to the starting position of a homeworld by using the guidebook. Now we'll roll over to Delbin. You can't just roll directly to the left because he'll end up behind you. If you jump while rolling, you'll jump slightly to the side. If you roll, jump, and then charge, you can go even farther to the side. So basically I then died in an incredibly stupid way, but the point is we've opened the door to Sunny Flight. While we're here, I'll do what I can in Sunny Flight. It's not that exciting. Remember that you need to get everything in a set for it to count, and for anything else in this level that's just not gonna happen, so we're done here. Now we'll go over to Town Square and get Thomas along the way. Whirlwinds cause your angle to change simply by walking into them. These can either help or hurt you. Round and closed areas like this one near the portal for Dark Hollow are really good for getting any angle that you want. Conversely, Spyro will struggle in areas that don't have many walls or use a lot of 90-degree turns. By now it should be clear that basic movement is mostly possible, so let's just skip to the interesting bits. These, burglar guys move so fast that they can become a challenge for Spyro. You pretty much just need to keep trying at them though, no need for efficiency. When coming out of portals, Spyro is facing towards the camera. If you press forward, you can slowly turn to where the camera is facing. This lets us get the gems on these pillars. When doing this, you always turn the same way though, so we'll never be able to reach this chest here, so we'll be just short of 100% for Artisans. First thing we'll do in Town Square is free Nils. Notice how after freeing that dragon, Spyro gets put to a different angle. I know, right? An adult dragon being useful? What the fuck is this? Now we need to get over to that place. I know a sort of long and tricky way, but I have a better idea. When Nils is disappearing, he drops two tools. If you stand on either of them, this. You have seen little yet, viewer. Observe. This particular fan chest won't be too useful, but other ones throughout the game will be. You have to be careful though. Once you destroy a fan chest, it's gone for good. From here we can access the majority of the gems in this level and free all of the dragons. We can repeat that same launch with the dragon in order to get to these other high areas. Oh, and remember that one place I showed before? It's actually not that hard to get up there. And that's almost everything in Town Square. This could have gone a lot worse. Dark Hollow is an easy level for us. It's intended to teach you about fighting enemies. For that reason, it's intentionally easy to navigate. The only problematic area is this one, which has deadly water in it for no reason. Insomniac. If you're not careful about how you move through the room, you can end up getting stuck on the island with the key. After grabbing the key, I let my guard down and then immediately discovered that there is actually more than one place where you can get yourself trapped here. I'll leave this area unexplored. It's only a few gems and one dragon. Stone Hill is much the same story as Dark Hollow. You can get almost anywhere with extreme ease. You can even go down to the beach and get the key. There's a handful of gems in the top area that I'm just not gonna bother to get. It's just not worth the effort. You know what's weird about Toasty? It's a sheep bossing around shepherds and dogs. Isn't that fucked up? The only tricky part of Toasty is this little bendy area over here. Bends like this can be a problem for Spyro, but this one was fine. Toasty is the first level we get 100% on. Pretty easy too. Marco wanted us to free 10 dragons, and we got 15. Almost everything in Peacekeepers is on this one landmass, and there are plenty of different angled walls in the area, so getting everything here is pretty easy. To get to the remaining area, we need to destroy this rock formation. That means we need to use a cannon. Problem is, cannons require that you use left and right in order to aim them. I was able to get this guy to aim at the rock for me. I then somehow pulled off this maneuver. Finally, an egg that we can actually get. The cannon guy will also help us open this chest. However, when I stand near this other chest over here, he just doesn't seem to care. Whatever though, we're doing quite well. When you die, you'll respawn at the last dragon that you were at if you had been to one before dying. The angle you respawn at isn't the same one as when you watch the cutscene. This means that every dragon offers you not one but 2 different angles. This allows us to reach the gems near the portal for Night Flight. We could also go into Night Flight, but there's nothing that we can do there. Peacekeepers is another level that's just shy of 100% complete. I swear the challenge part of this run comes later, but for now, Peacekeepers is another very easy level. The main area is enclosed and has a lot of organic angles. Gliding over to this other area is as simple as doing it. This tunnel ends up branching into 3 different paths. Once you go down one of those paths, it's kind of hard to get yourself back out of there, but you can always either die or leave the level. You can also turn yourself using small round things like this, but as you can see, it's much harder than using a wall. eventually got to an angle that allows me to glide over to this thingy. Unfortunately, I could not get the key. I don't know why the key isn't there, but it's supposed to be right next to the dragon. The furthest I could go in this area is where you see Spyro. This is the kind of bend that I was talking about before. There's no way to back Spyro up. So yeah, just tough luck. We just hit 1200 gems, which is what we needed for the balloonist. Eggs and dragons are what we should focus on next. Clifftown can be a difficult level because almost everything is at 90-degree angles. That is with one major exception being these cauldrons. If you can reach a cauldron, you can use it to get any angle you want. I'll be splitting this video into two parts to learn how interested people are in this. I know that part 1 hasn't been too amazing so far, it's just how this game is. The real challenges are all going to be in part 2.
You've reached the highest point in Clifftown. You can get to almost anywhere from here. If I were you, I'd use that whirlwind over there.
Doctors hate him. Learn how a dragon went through an entire level with one weird wall. Dragons hate him. Learn how a doctor beat his opponent with one weird trick. I'm just gonna call it here before this gets any worse. See you next time in part 2 where we take on the actual challenges.